Well, hello there, and welcome to Pucknology After Dark. I will be your host this evening, Ian Reed, who I don't know if who thought was a good idea to let me host After Dark. Writer's Room, I get it. Here, not so much. On the panel tonight, we have an awesome panel. We have the lovely, oh, damn it, now I've got no in my ears. Okay, we have the lovely Rocket Backhander.
Hello.
And we have the jerk de hockey jerk.
He's
Welcome
also very
everyone.
lovely.
Welcome
He's very
everyone
lovely.
to welcome everyone to Hot Take Central. I'm your host, Hockey Jerk.
All right, guys. Wow, this was fun. But before we get started, I have to tell you that Pucknology After Dark is partnered with this wonderful place called Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/PAD, you can sign up for an account. It helps us. It helps you. You get a free audiobook. You can choose from their library of 18 bajillion audiobooks. I'm sure it's less than that, but not by much. And you can help us help you. And how do we help you? We help you by showing up and doing stuff, and hopefully, we can keep things like SoundCloud running. So if you want to help us, that is how you can do it. You can also just watch, and we're fine with that too. So that out of the way, this was a game where, in my opinion, I feel like I watched this game a couple of days ago. Stop me if you've heard this one. The Sharks come out a little flat, drop 2 goals, claw their way back in, and then give up a late goal in the third. Not as late as last game, obviously, but drop a late goal in the third and end up losing the game.
I think I've heard that before.
I'm pretty sure that's the motivational paragraph outside the Sharks locker room.
Is it? Man, I want royalties on that shit.
Oh, wow.
The Sharks need to be paying me. Sharks need paying all of us.
True.
All right. So, in the chat, stop. I don't know. I mean, to me, look at this game. I don't like these slow starts. These slow starts are really, really starting to get frustrating. But all in all, I didn't think like there was things about that game that I liked. I mean, not all of it, obviously. I don't know where are you at with this team right now, Hockey Jerks? Like a week ago, I feel like we'd like maybe partially planned like a quarter of the parade route, and now we're kind of like, well, what the hell is this? Where are you at?
I don't know. I think I'm still kind of in the middle because there's a part of me that likes the way they have played, and then there's another part of me that looks at this team and looks at who's scoring and who's not scoring and is like, oh wow, is this 2012 all over again? Like I thought we had depth.
Yeah, I mean, as everyone's been talking about depth, and right now, it's like where is this depth that we are speaking of? I mean, LeBanc scored a great goal, but I mean, right now he's skating on the second line. So if you keep shuffling everyone down to the bottom 6, I don't know what you're supposed to, if everyone who doesn't score keeps getting shuffled to the bottom 6, I don't know how that helps anything. Rocket, where are you at on this?
This has been a 2-game downward trend. I'm not exactly sure it's time to set the garbage receptacle on fire. I'm going to give it until,
Tomorrow.
I'm going to give it until the Super Bowl. And which is generally like around my birthday every year. So I'm going to give it until my birthday before I decide that I've had it. But they are starting to get on my nerves. But that's the Sharks.
Do you guys think, because this is something we've kind of, with Martin Jones, we've kind of gone back and forth. Like we're like a week ago, I couldn't say enough good things about his play. He looked like he was really fighting the puck tonight. What do you guys think about that, Hockey Jerk?
I don't know. I actually thought he was pretty sharp. I think the goals that he did let in, especially the one, the Lindholm goal that gave the Ducks the lead towards the end. I think it's just a matter of him not really reading the play right, and then he's kind of out of position, and there's not really anything he can do. Same thing on the Vermette goal. But other than that, I think he's been really solid the last little while.
Yeah, like I don't mean like when I say he's fighting the puck, I don't think he's been bad per se. Like I didn't really that first goal, not much he's going to do there. I didn't really fault him for much of the goals that were scored tonight. It just seems like he just seems like he's less, like the puck is not bouncing for him well. Like he looks like it's not like he's not sharp. It's just that it seems like he's just not getting any. I don't know how I'm trying to say. He's not getting any,
help.
Yeah. Maybe he's not getting any help.
Maybe he just couldn't see it very well tonight.
Well, that is true too, because on the Lindholm goal, if you watch the replay, Marlowe was, all but setting a Sean Avery pick on him. So,
yeah, that's true. Obviously, big storyline coming out at the end, like that penalty at the end. Like, guys know me. I'm not the one to really overly dwell on officiating on this show, but it seemed crazy to me. Like, just absolutely crazy to me that after the third period where, I'm fine. You don't put the whistle in your pocket. Hey, I'm cool with that. I love watching, flowing game. I'd rather watch a good flowing game like we had tonight than, whistles every 10 seconds so we can send someone else to the box. But to call that penalty at the end there is just, it made no sense to me because, I mean, look at the stuff that they had let go the entire period. And then the puck's in the other end, and now you're going to call a penalty with like less than a minute left and basically, the Sharks, the game on the line like that. It bothered me. And again, like I'm not a big get mad at the officials guy.
Yeah, it was very weird just because, like you said, it was so late in the game. I think there was about 14 seconds left, and what do you prove or what do you solve by doing that? Oh, well, we really got to clean it up for December the 27th or whatever the hell
they were. Look, the officiating crew just happened to be in the exact right position to catch the beginning, middle, and end of that particular penalty. Say what you will about every other penalty that transpired in that game, but that's the one that they saw. So that's the one that they caught.
But I mean, if you go back and you look at the replay, at least half of the guys on the ice were, down on the ground. I mean, LeBanc got falcon kicked right before it, and nothing happened. So, I just don't know what you prove or what you solve by calling a phantom tripping penalty.
Yeah, I don't get it. Just at that point in the game too. Like it's just, I don't care. Like if officiating consistent, I don't care. If it, if you're gonna put your whistle in your pocket, then leave your whistle in your pocket. If you're gonna call everything, then call everything. But this random, we're gonna let that go, and now here that little thing there, yeah, that's going to the box. Rocket.
Look, you can be mad all you want, but
I am mad.
They only have two eyeballs in their brain, and they're watching a very specific set of activities, and they're looking for variation outside of a very specific set of movements. They can't catch everything. And when there's a million guys piled up on top of each other and they're all committing penalties, it's really easy to pick out one. As opposed to, they're standing a little bit further away from you and they're facing the wrong direction. You're watching the puck, which is already over across the other side. They're going to be crummy, and until they figure it out, we're not allowed to say anything about it, are we?
Yes, we're
not. Well, right. Sure. And I mean, I didn't expect them to call anything in that last little scrum. No. I guess I'm just more surprised that they did call something because, like I said, there was 14 seconds left. Like at that point, whether it's on the Ducks or the Sharks, it's pointless to call something.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, look at again. The calls are what they are, and it's I'm certainly not going to be like, oh, it's a conspiracy, because if there's anything that annoys me more than bitching about the rest, conspiracy theories where the NHL just secretly has it out for us probably annoy me more. Even though I can see how people wander down that line of thinking, and I don't want to make everyone angry and leave the chat, so I'll just be nice. But so I mean the top six has looked pretty good though. I mean, look at obviously Burnsy continues to put the puck in the net, and Is he like killing? Like he's got to be getting up there in the goal race by this point. Where's he sitting?
He scored his 12th tonight, and I believe the league leaders are Pasternak, Crosby, and McDavid, who are all tied with 18.
Wow. There you go. So yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive. Kevin Labanc, I mean, this is a guy who got sent down, I think, just for the game. They never told him he was coming back up, but he got sent down for the weekend to play some AHL games where the Barracuda did okay, and then he comes back up. But I mean, he's got to be hearing Timo Meier's footsteps behind him at this point, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Just because when you watch his play, you know, whether he has the puck or he doesn't have the puck, he's almost like Donskoy, where, you know, he does all the right things defensively. There was one instance right before his goal where the puck was, I thought for sure, going to exit the zone, and then he kept it in. And even if you look at all three of the goals he scored this season, you know, this one tonight, then the one against Los Angeles, both 2-on-1s, and then his first, you know, front of the net kind of by himself. And it really shows how good he is at getting away from the defender and kind of creating his own scoring chances, whether they go in or not.
But this is if you want to make Goldobin great again, you need to give him back Kevin Labanc.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I guess so. So I guess, I mean, here's the problem though, right? Because I think Timo is probably a lot closer than I think many people think he is to getting called up. But I don't know at what cost, because the Sharks are playing a really, really tight, you know, against the cap right now. And I'm not, you know, yeah, but here's the problem. Okay, because like my Night Dev just said, you know, Bodker's the guy, but the Sharks are too up against the cap. You can't afford to sit $4 million in the press box. I mean, you know, you have to still be cap compliant. And I think my concern is at this point is like, yeah, it's fine if Nieto sits in the press box, big deal. He doesn't make that, you know, he doesn't make any money. But if you move a Wingles or a thing, that cap space is going to get really tight, especially when Hurdle comes back. Like, that's the thing. I don't know who has to make way for Timo to get that shot, which I think is coming. I think when you look at the last stretch of games that he's played, you know, we've talked about this in the writers' room to death, where, you know, he's gotten a bajillion times better than he was when he first started.
But here's the thing though with Timo Meier. At this point in time, does he come up to the Sharks because he's good enough and he's ready enough, or does he come up because the Sharks are looking for any kind of spark?
I think it's a little of both, because I think with Timo, I think if he didn't have mono at the beginning of the season, he makes the team out of camp. I firmly believe that.
Sorry.
Haley wouldn't be on the team.
Oh, did you guys see this in the chat? Am I going to see Bodker at the CUDA season ticket holder Christmas party?
Oh, wow.
That's pretty
It wouldn't.
good.
That's $4 million to play in the AHL. That's that. No.
You know what though? If the Sharks waived him, I bet somebody would still claim him.
Oh, I'd claim. Yeah, I think that there's a team out there that would absolutely claim Cal Bodker if you sent him down.
Would.
I think there's 29 teams that would claim him, to be totally honest.
Oh, I don't know.
28.
I mean,
Maybe 28. Yes, and whoever had him before.
No, I mean, obviously, look, there's some teams that wouldn't be able to afford him, frankly.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, no, I think it's a point well taken that I don't think Bodker's just, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just don't think he meshes well in the system. I think he needs a more free-flowing system where he's allowed to be a little more creative and not, you know, it's not so rigid for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that under a different system, he might flourish a little bit more than he is under this one. And I don't think, like, I mean, he's starting to get his chances. I think that having Donskoy on that third line has kind of helped him a little bit, because, you know, there's guys like that on the team where I think, you know, Kevin Labanc's another one where these guys just work their butts off so much that if you take a shift off, it's obvious you've taken a shift off, because those guys don't stop. They might not put all, they might not fill the you know, the net with all the pucks, but you know if you've taken a shift off when you're playing next to a guy like Donskoy.
Well, and that's the thing is they brought up Donskoy whatever day it was, and Pete
Mhm.
said, I really love the way he's playing. They're not going in, but he's doing all the right things. He kind of stole what I said on Pucknologists, but
Mhm.
that's besides the point. And then you look at with Bodker, you could read the quote. I hope he's pissed off. Like,
Yeah.
Bodker, you hate to call out a guy's compete level, but
Mhm.
he's riding shotgun to this whole operation.
No, I completely agree. And yeah, I agree. Look, I'd like to see Donskoy put some pucks in the net, but man, I don't know. Like, he's done everything but score at this point. And I know that
Exactly.
eventually pucks have to go in the net, and I understand that you need goals to win, but it's really hard for me to get pissed off at Donskoy, other than my obvious, super Donskoy fanboy, when he does absolutely everything else you could ask, other than put the puck in the net, which isn't something that that's not all on him.
Well, yeah, and you look at every time Donskoy is out on the ice, he's so good at dishing. He's very underrated at dishing the puck, and he's really good at keeping it. And it's very rare that you see the other team, strip the puck off of Donskoy. So if he's not scoring, he's definitely creating chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Rocket, you got any thoughts here? I know we've just taken over.
That's fine. I'm just listening to you guys talk. Go Sharks! No,
This is what happens when you get Ian and Hockey Jerk in the
Sorry.
same hangout.
I'm okay. That's why I wore the blonde wig. That's fine. No, I don't really see Timo's coming up anytime too terribly soon, unless, I mean, like, are they gonna? Who would they pull out of the lineup? They wouldn't send LeBanc back down, would they?
I don't think so. I mean, cap wise, maybe they have to. I don't. It's hard
Could
though,
they?
because really, it's not if LeBanc got sent down. It's not his fault, right? Like, it's not anything he's done wrong. It's just that they think that
But at this
Timo has the
point,
higher
why
ceiling.
wouldn't they be sending Haley down?
Because Haley is
Good.
he's the black ace. He's the black ace.
Right.
But if we're looking at cap movement and like skill level and everything, wouldn't that be sort of logically the best thing to do is to take Haley out and put Timo in?
I'm not arguing that.
Okay, all right.
Obviously, you're right. If it's my say, I absolutely send Haley down and bring Timo up. It's not even a conversation to me. But I don't think that when I look at what the Sharks and what they've done this year, I don't think Haley's going down. And they won't set Nieto down because they don't want to lose him for nothing in waivers, even though what the hell's the point of having him?
Even though he's worth nothing.
Because
Right.
they're going to sacrifice him, okay? They're going to wait until they make playoffs, and they're going to sacrifice him in some sort of satanic ritual.
They want to dangle him out there for expansion draft is my guess. The only reason that Nieto is still doing anything.
Okay.
Tommy Wingles you could send down, but then you have to pray to God someone takes him in waivers because we don't have the cap space to have, the million whatever that he would still count against the cap for sitting in the AHL. And Wingles has been, I liked Wingles' game tonight. I think that, if Wingles would do what he did tonight more often, we wouldn't need Michael Haley, and he'd be useful at this point. Like that's a really good topic. So I'll let you guys go.
You need to be careful about how you put that there, bud, because Tommy Wingles got his ass whooped in a fight, whereas I don't think Michael Haley would have suffered the same fate. That's all.
I don't know, man. I think maybe Wingles bit off a little more than he could chew there, but at the same time, like, we've seen Wingles throw down before. It's not like he can't. I'm not saying he has to throw down all the time. I don't think you need to throw down all the time in today's NHL. I just think you have to have the guy that will drop the gloves. We've seen Wingles drop the gloves before. Yes, he got his ass completely handed to him tonight. I concede that point. But I still like that. Like, at least he's bringing something.
I have a question for you guys that I feel like we haven't touched on at all recently. How do you guys feel about Joel Ward's play?
He's Joel Ward. I like Joel Ward. I really like Joel Ward as a player. And I don't think we lose a Joel Ward in the expansion draft because I think we lose a defenseman. But if Joel Ward or Paul Martin were taken in the expansion draft, I would not shed a tear.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I mean, he's here. You know what? I feel like when we need Ward the most, he's going to show up because that's all he's done his whole career. You know, this is a guy that has nothing but big playoff goals. So when the playoffs roll around, I want Joel Ward in my lineup. For the time being, though, yeah, it's concerning.
And I don't know. I mean, obviously he fits nice on the second line just because he allows some of the other faster skaters to kind of be spread out. But at the same time, I'm curious to know, like, if Bodker had actually got going, how much more opportunities Couture would have had in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Timo is the spark that this, the shot in the arm that this team needs to get going.
It's entirely possible, but then it just creates an even bigger logjam because then, one game makes you like hate a guy to death, and then the next game he rings one off the post, and it's like, oh well, he's always on top of things. Like my prime example is Melker Karlsson. Like I swap between loving him for what he does and wondering why we have him. Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's another guy too that I think I like Melker, but again, he's not a must keep guy for me on this team. He's a piece that I think we have other pieces in the AHL that can replace him at this point. I don't think people got really excited when he scored, all those goals in his rookie season, but that's not Melker Karlsson. Melker Karlsson was never, that guy in Europe. It was just another guy who benefited from playing with the Joes. And look, I like Melker's game, but he's so interchangeable with AHL pieces at this point. Like that's my opinion on Melker.
Well, that's the thing is there's easily, I mean, you could probably have, Timo, Carpenter, and Goldobin on the Sharks, and they probably wouldn't be any worse, to be honest with you.
You could call up. I think another guy that gets overlooked, even though he's already had a look, is O'Regan. I think you could put absolutely. O'Regan on that bottom line center. You can throw. I think you'd be wasting Timo on the fourth line, but you could put pieces around O'Regan, and get rid of Haley, but that'll never happen. And you could still have you could get rid of Nieto and Wingles, and you could put two other pieces there. You could put like a Carpenter. For example, is another guy you could put there. You could put a Barclay Goodrow there if you didn't kick Peter DeVore's dog over and over and over again. And you would not notice any difference. Like, it would be the same. You know what I mean? Like, it would be the same, maybe better. But I don't think you'd see a drop-off if you replace the fourth line with those guys.
Exactly.
I agree.
Like, man. I'm just going to scan through the chat here. Goldobin can easily replace Melker. Melker's a little better on the defensive side of the puck than Goldobin is.
I was going to say Melker's a really good penalty killer. He
is an excellent penalty killer. And Kevin, if Goodrow didn't suck so bad. Oh man. Let me just kind of go through here. Because I know there's like a lot of chat that we're probably missing here as I stare into Rocket's eyes and talk. And Rocket's completely creeped out, and we're hiring an HR person tomorrow.
It's cool. It's cool. It's all cool. I've had people say really inappropriate things to me while I was wearing a blonde wig, just because there's such a start.
Sorry.
It's all right. This is after dark. We're all right.
Oh God.
We're all right. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, the chat seems to be basically saying a lot of the same things we are. Okay. So Mike Nev's making a good point. All stuck on 2 goals for the season. Tierney, Carson, Thornton, Donskoy, Bodker, and Ward. Tierney. Okay. Tierney doesn't put enough pucks in the net, and I agree with that. But Tierney's made some serious strides in the last few games on that third line center. Whereas before I'm like, are you ever going to escape the fourth line and not look completely out of place. But he's actually, with Hurdle being out, he's actually been not that bad on the second. Joe Thornton, yeah, I mean, Joe Thornton could probably put some pucks that aren't that are actually on a goalie in the net. But as long as he's setting up everyone else, I'm not too concerned about Thornton. But I mean, yeah, Ward obviously needs to do more. Melker like to see a little bit more from. I mean, there's no doubt. And Bodker, obviously, we need to see a little bit more, especially Bodker and Ward. I mean, those guys are both $4 million apiece, 4 something apiece. Like, it's not acceptable to have 4 goals between $8 million, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they're just really good in the room. They're really good in the room.
sure. I don't know. Even with all these questions, though, I'm still not worried.
Oh no, neither am I. I mean, we just, like I said, like went from last week where everything was great, and then now they had that 4-day break, which was obviously too long for them, and you have trouble like this. They're not playing bad enough that I don't think a bounce goes their way and the game has a different outcome. I believe that, completely believe that if the game goes a different way, that the outcome's going to be fine. But right now it seems like they're fighting the puck on all ends, except for Burns, who can do everything, which is why he's making $8 million forever. Slap the goalie pads on him, then he can throw them off, skate up the ice to the blue line, be like, meh, I'm going forward, and go score a goal.
And then conduct his own post-game interview.
Mike Nieves saying, is Haley still tied with Nabby on the all-time Sharks goals list with 1? I think so. But Saint Owen also bringing up a good point. He's not ready to throw the deaf guys under the bus just because of how good the penalty kill's been this year. Which I think you credit that to, Carlson, Tierney, and Donskoy.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, that's been one thing. I know they said tonight, they've allowed a power play goal in the last 4 to 5 games, or maybe 4 to 6 now. But even still, I mean, yeah, obviously you don't want to allow any power play goals, but the penalty kill, has been a real saving grace for this team through everything. When they couldn't, and even now they're still having trouble finding the back of the net. But when they really couldn't find the back of the net, the penalty kill was bailing them out hard. So I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind. So yeah. Anything else while I go look for some scores and stuff?
I thought I was, every time the Sharks lose, we always get the same rash of if only Marleau had done this. But I thought he was one of the best guys out there today.
Yeah, I mean, Marleau, for me, I really don't have a ton against Marleau so far this year. I feel like, and maybe it's just because my expectations for Marleau are so much lower than they were before. That
it's a contract year.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, even still, I mean, it's not like I don't feel like he's, I get it's a contract year, but nothing I'm seeing from Marleau this year is hey, we need to get him another contract.
Right,
I'm not saying that he can't come back.
He hasn't been astronomically awful though either, is the thing.
No. And I think I think that's my point. Yeah, it's a contract year and he's playing better, but he's not. I mean, I'm not saying he's this is a guy that needs to make $5 million next year. I just think he's been good. He's been steady.
He hasn't been phoning it in.
Yeah, he hasn't been fantastic. I mean, he's not. I'm not going to say, oh man, Patrick Marleau, the best guy on the team, night in and night out. Not the case, but he's not the worst guy either. And there was many times last season where I don't think I would have said that.
Yeah.
I agree.
And Rocket's not so secret admirer also bringing up a good point. Pavelski has been kind of iffy lately. I would like to see him shoot the puck more, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'd like to see everyone shoot the puck more. Go ahead, Rocket.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's in their system to shoot the puck more, then by God, I want them to shoot the puck more. But I think they're still kind of, this system runs a little bit more heavy across the line on defense.
Sure.
So that's why they're still the lowest scoring team in the NHL, this season, because they just aren't thinking offensively minded. I don't know why. Will they make an adjustment in the system? Are they doing this on purpose? Only Peter DeBoer knows.
Tune in next week to PMZ.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the scores around the league. All right, so the Washington Capitals beat the Buffalo Sabres by a score of 4-1.
Cool.
Yeah, cool guys. Cool guys.
I want Buffalo to do good.
I know, me too. They
just
need
wait until the Sharks play them.
Yes, and that too. Wait until the Sharks play them. They'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
Kyle Okposo scoring the only goal for the Sabres. Oh, speaking of Kyle Okposo, remind me to come back to that. TJ Oshie, Varner Carlson, and Johansson are the goal scorers for the Capitals. In the Metro Division awesome team, the Columbus Blue Jackets, 4-1 score over the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan Larkin, only scorer for the Red Wings, and I believe Mrazek started it and then Howard finished it.
Oh, Detroit, I swear, Detroit is turning into like Ottawa Senators 2010. Like, they got two goalies who play in every game and one guy scoring all the goals. Detroit is, I don't even know.
They're a mess. It's just, I mean, this is a team. Detroit's an interesting team because, like, this is a team that has put off rebuilding, like, really rebuilding for so long, and just is like, we'll just find the next Lidstrom in the pipeline somewhere, and then just never happened. And you don't just replace a Lindstrom. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, that's even a reasonable expectation. But, yeah, I mean, it's a team that's, like, held on, and they've just made some really puzzling moves, like that contract for Mike Green, for example. Like,
I like that contract.
I like the contract, but I just think like this is a team where it's like you're just putting pieces in to lose in the first round.
Yeah. Well, it's all it's all about keeping the streak alive. I mean, for God's sakes, last year in the playoffs they put the fucking 25 logo on center ice, and how many games did they get out of that? 2. Like, is it worth it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, it worked out for them for a long time, but it gets to the point where you just kind of have to bottom it out, and over the course of 25 years, you have to bottom it out at some point. And kind of really restock the cupboard. And look at the Wings have done a really good job drafting. I mean, look at, they still got guys coming up that I would wish that I would, sell my children to have in Teal, but
Sharks could have had Anthony Mantha.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, look at guys like that, guys like Dylan Larkin. I mean, they still find these guys that are just insane, but this is a team that really just needs to embrace the fact that they're just clinging to dear life. And they're, it's like, how long until they're, Calgary from, like, even, I mean, Calgary's kind of picked it up now, but if you look at like Calgary, they did the same thing forever. They just tried to put pieces to just hold on and just make the playoffs, and anything can happen, but nothing can happen anymore because there's not, for all the talk of parity in the league, I mean, there's still only a few teams that routinely are favored to win the cup.
Calgary really wasted Jerome McGinley's prime with that.
Oh, did they ever? The St. Louis Blues beat the New Jersey Devils by a score of 4-1. Kincaid was in net for the Devils, so no Schneider lost there. The Oilers lost to the Wild in the shootout. Leon Draisaitl scored his 13th goal of the year.
Leon Draisaitl's amazing.
I love Leon Draisaitl. Oh my God. Talk about guys that I would sell my children to have in Teal.
Seriously.
In a goal-scoring bonanza, the New York Rangers beat the Blackhawks 1-0 in overtime.
Yay. I caught a little bit of that game. It was the battle of the backup goalies, and it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I heard about that, like reading about that game on Twitter, I was writing an article because I had the the serious itch to write something, and I haven't forever. So read that. It's on pucknology.net. It's about the Barracuda, and give it a read and see if I still have any mojo left in the writing department. And that's it for the out of town scoreboard. So what was I saying? Oh, Kyle Okposo. So the New York Islanders sign Cal Clutterbuck, 3.5 million AAV for like the next 100 years, I think it was.
At
I
least.
believe it was 5.
And then they signed his mustache for a no movement clause.
Right. And I mean, look at this. This team makes no sense to me. Like, is it that you have a guy like I don't know, Garth Snow just kind of poisoning the well because he knows the Reaper is coming for him? Like, what is he doing? You let Kyle Okposo go in the offseason, and then you put that money towards Cal Clutterbuck? What is going on, Hockey Jerk?
What do you mean?
What is going on with the Islanders? What are they doing?
Oh, they are. Sorry, I was looking at the chat.
Cocaine. That's what they're doing.
No,
that is what they're doing.
What they are doing is they are wasting the prime of John Tavares. Now, John Tavares is the first ever player to be granted exceptional by Hockey Canada. There should tell you, hey, let's not fuck with this guy. Secondly, I don't think I've seen him smile since the World Cup, which is a problem.
Yeah.
They need to cut this shit out right now because John Tavares is, I don't want to say underrated because we know he's good, one of the most underappreciated guys in the league. And honestly, July 1, 2018, I hope he just double birds his way out of there.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. I don't understand how Garth Snow still has a job. I give Garth Snow a lot of credit because he did a lot of things to help that team kind of get out from under stupidity once he kind of like had, the owners stop making moves for him. But at the same time, his inability to give John Tavares anything to play with at this point, like, how does he still have a job? I don't understand it.
Exactly. I mean, the Clutterbuck extension today,
right?
They signed Grabovski to a stupid amount of years past his prime. Same thing with Nikolai Kulemin. They let Kyle Okposo go,
right,
and then signed Andrew Ladd for the same exact money that Kyle Okposo probably would have taken.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of stupidity.
Like $7 million on their fourth line at this point, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised they didn't sign or re-sign Matt Martin because it's right up their alley of stupidity.
Maybe. I mean, they should have just doubled down. I mean, who else can they get? There's got to be someone out there they can bring back for.
Maybe they want Bodker. Fuck it.
Give them Bodker. Yeah, there you go. And then you can have like
sold.
You can have to give like 7 Yad Bodker as another 4. You have $11 million on your fourth line. Come on.
Honestly, though, if I'm Tavares too, before I double bird out of there on July 1, I take my stick and I just beat the shit out of that car by the glass.
Oh,
you can't. Why would you mess with the best mascot in hockey?
That's true.
That would be pretty disrespectful to their biggest season ticket holder.
That too. I mean that franchise is a mess, and it's like when you do stupid stuff like this, like there's always been a part of me that's kind of felt for I just kind of always wanted, like, okay, Island, like kind of like Buffalo, decent fan base, very passionate fan base. I mean, obviously it hasn't really moved with them from the island, and they had to get out of Nassau. Let's be honest here. I know everyone's like, just go back to Nassau. Nassau should be condemned.
True.
So they had to get out of there, but it's a team. It has a pretty passionate fan base. It's just, you want good things for teams like that. Like people that, what I mean? Like, and same in Buffalo. Buffalo has this really passionate fan base. They do some of the best TV numbers in the country. You want to see teams like that do well. Whereas teams with jerk-offs like that have fans like the Canucks, not the Coyotes, sorry, the Canuks. You want to see them.
About my Coyotes.
I'm not talking about the Coyotes.
You mean
Coyotes
the
are fine.
desert dogs?
Well,
I have to. Sorry.
I've met all 7 Coyotes fans. They're cool.
All 7 of them. Oh,
No, I look at.
Louise.
I get. I'm a big backer of hockey in stupid places. But
Cool with
I
that.
mean, but like, you have fans like Vancouver fans. The Vancouver fans deserve everything they get. I want Pittsburgh to suck because those motherfuckers deserve everything they got before Crosby got there, and they deserve everything that happens after Crosby's gone.
Mm.
Who else can I make fun of right now? I don't know. There's some pretty shitty hockey fans out there, and there's some really nice ones. And maybe
Did
teams
you get
that.
Vancouver?
Oh, Vancouver! I hit the first. That's the top of my list of.
Okay.
It's a shame that the Izod Center in New Jersey closed because the Islanders probably could have hung out there short term.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's a team, but when you have general managers doing stupid stuff like this, it's hard. Like, it's really bad when like the sentiment on Twitter after the Cal Clutterbuck thing was, okay, so who's dumber, Jim Benning or Garth Snow?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when that becomes the question, that's bad. That's bad times.
You talk about teams swapping captains. It's a shame they can't swap GMs.
Oh
That's
man.
gonna
Philly!
be-
How did I miss Philly? Yes, Philly. God, just drop a bomb on the whole state of Pennsylvania. Sorry if you live there.
Philly's the kind of the same as Detroit when we were talking about it earlier. Every year they alternate from being a lottery team and getting bounced in the first round. I mean, granted they have some good pieces now, but for the last 6 years though, it was like, okay, first second round in 2012, and then they missed in 2013, and then the first round in 2014, and then they missed in 2015. It's like, or whatever. You get my point.
You know what I think, though? Honestly, if I had to rank GMs in the league, I think I'd put Ron Hextall in the top 5.
He's a lot better than Paul Holmgren, that's for sure.
Yeah, like he would be probably in my top. Like that team, yes. It seems like if they could get a goalie, and I know this has been Philly's issue since the dawn of time. But, I mean, that they're doing a lot of really good things in Philly. I mean, that prospect pool is probably top 10. Easily.
I'm curious to know how the people who were pissed about the Mike Richards trade feel now.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like, to me, like, Philly's going places. Philly, it seems like they've been false started a couple of times, but this is a team that in a couple of years, I think, are going to be just perennial contenders again. And it's going to be because of the work of Ron Hextall.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have Konechny, or sorry, not Konechny, Gostisbehere and Provorov on the D-core, and I don't even think they're playing Sanheim yet.
No. Nope.
So, Delzato, bye.
Bye. Yeah,
Andrew McDonald, bye.
Like once they start clearing those guys out, these kids are going to come in, and I mean that is going to be such a stupid. Do you think Nashville has a good blue line? Wait until watch Philly in 3 years.
Yeah,
and you'll be like, Nashville who?
You say that only hoping that the rest of the components of their game can maintain where they're at or get better in that time.
Defense wins championships.
They probably also have one of the best top lines in the league.
They do.
See, defense wins championships. See, so maybe that's why the Sharks are doing what they're doing.
Keep doing whatever it is.
Whatever it is you're doing. Sorry. Hot take.
No, that's great. I think AJ's gonna I'm gonna have a lawsuit tomorrow for copyright infringement from AJ.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. You guys have to deal with him, not me.
Oh, jeez. He promised me a Alex Stalock signed beer mug that I haven't got yet, so he's on my list.
Oh man.
A signed beer mug?
It's a long story.
Okay.
This is fantastic. Oh man, you know what? Where is Alex Stalock now? I don't think he's even playing in the AHL anymore, is he?
No, he's not even in the AHL, I don't think.
I'm going to look right now. You guys talk about talk about how John Tavares is being ruined while I look this up.
John Tavares is ruined because he plays on a bad team that surrounds him with bad people that can't play hockey.
Yeah. So Alex Stalock right now is playing for the Iowa Wild in the AHL.
Okay.
He has 15 games played with
Nice.
a average of 3.02, a save percentage of 902, and a record of 1-1.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's the AHL. I mean, it's not. I mean,
Yeah,
not
because
terrible.
he's facing AHL teams. He's not facing NHL. You know,
It's not
150
good.
miles.
It's not terrible.
For those of
Sit on my
you
lap. All right.
for those of you who need a reminder, this is the same goalie that Sharks fans wanted to be the starter over Niemi.
Well,
You know,
Sharks fans are dumb. We're all dumb. We all say stupid things.
I don't. At that point, like for the 2014-15 season, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think it would have made a damn difference.
Yep.
It wouldn't have made a damn. The Sharks that year could have been the team where both goalies played every game and they flipped a coin to see who played the third period. It wouldn't have made a damn. We made it done better if they'd have done that.
the start of the third period, and the ref is like waiting for the Sharks to change, and you see like, Todd McClellan like flipping the coin, and then he taps Stalock on the shoulder.
Like rock paper scissors for it or something.
Oh my goodness. All right. I feel like we've been on for a while, so we should probably wrap this up, unfortunately.
Probably.
So, I mean, final thoughts. Rocket, go ahead.
This is one of the many valleys in the peaks and valleys of the ocean that is the regular season, and I do not think it is time to put out the distress signal, launch the emergency dinghy, and light all the flares. We cool. We aight. Ian?
Hockey Jerk?
This is I'm sure a lot of Sharks fans are slowly starting to lift the glass cube up from the panic button, but just go ahead and put it back down, because we're still fine here. Yes, we're in a wild card spot, but we're also like a win away from leading the division, so we're still in a good spot here.
Yeah, it's a logjam. I mean,
and what? A lot of people are saying too that the Sharks didn't find their groove until January and everything was fine.
That's true.
I think, granted, I don't want this to happen by any means, but and Rocket said it earlier, I could see the Sharks still kind of be iffy by the Super Bowl and still be okay, just because of how subpar the Pacific Division is this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're upset because Edmonton and Calgary has passed you, I think the column you need to look at right now is the games played column.
Do you
Calgary,
have that too?
We have 3 games in hand on both Calgary and Edmonton, who are 1 and 2 points ahead of us respectively. 3 games in hand. It's not as bad as it looks at all.
Basically, if their season ended today, we would still have 3 games.
That's right. We'd have 3 games to knock them out of the playoffs. So, look at. I think Calgary. Calgary has had some good games lately, and they're. I think that we probably should be looking over our shoulder a little bit at them. And I think Edmonton. I don't think Edmonton's going to completely go away at any point. That being said, 3 games in hand. It's fine. I wouldn't even, if you're pissed off because the Flames somehow passed us, don't be. It's stupid. When the games are all evened out, we're still a better team. We're still going to have more wins, and everything is awesome. And everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Aww.
So, listen to the Pucknologists if you have not already. You can hear these fine 2 wonderful people who are on the show with me tonight. You can also send your petition to @PuckGuy14 and tell him never let Ian host After Dark ever again.
Indeed.
I'd probably get on that petition.
Or you can send PuckGuy14 a petition to have Ian always host After Dark.
That's true. You can do that too.
I've had some fun today. I don't know about you guys.
I've had fun as well.
I think this was a good show.
Ian would probably like some sleep.
I would like some sleep sometimes. Also, so listen to Pucknologist. You guys just dropped a new episode yesterday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sunday.
Hockey Jerk was not on this episode. I'm sorry. We had Puck guy posting.
Yeah, I
Right,
had
I
a
subscribed. I forgot about that.
yeah.
Hockey
I
Jerk had a funeral that he needed to be at.
The death of a good podcast. I understand.
He's a funeral director at his work.
I'm sorry. That's terrible of me.
It's fine.
It's
tomorrow,
okay. You can resubscribe next week.
I will resubscribe next week. Sunday. Coming up, we have the writer's room. Special guest this week is going to be Paul Gackle. So we are going to start a little late. We're going to start a little bit after 8, I think is the plan. 8 Pacific, of course. If you have questions that you want to ask on the show, or you want to ask Paul specifically, Paul obviously has a lot of insights that some of us won't have because, he gets into the room and talks to people. So if you have any questions for Paul, please send them to me on Twitter at iReadPucknology, and I will make sure that we ask Paul. He said that he's limited me to one Michael Haley question, so I'm only taking the best one because I like to have my guests come back on at some point down the road. So other than that, thanks for watching. And I don't even know what the hell I'm supposed to say now. I guess I'm supposed to say keep it real, keep it tight, keep it real tight.
Sure.